Hi everyone, and welcome to the Taurus Weekly Tarot Bite reading for the week of June 26th through July 2nd. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot reading for soul illumination. So hi everyone and welcome. I'm Lauren, and this reading is meant to take a look at the energies for the week ahead based on the main themes that came up in the general collective reading, which was released on Sunday. So we had Deep Knowing and Two of Cups. And the deep knowing really, on an intuitive level, represented for me the deep knowing or awareness that we are each going through this week in looking at some aspect of our internal, emotional, and spiritual self, which has been long kind of out of balance. Whether this is looking at how we balance our masculine and feminine energies, again, how we initiate and receive, or whether this is just looking at potential kind of emotional or spiritual blocks that we have put in place based on something that has happened in the past and then therein created a kind of imbalance within. Looking at how we can recognize that, attempt to then rebalance something within ourselves so that then we can bring that balance out into a change in how we intimately and authentically connect with others. So really being able to see the change within mirrored in the change without in our close relationships. Sorry guys, I'm gonna put my phone over here. I have my daughter's baby monitor on. She is taking a nap right now, so I was just checking on that. Okay, Taurus, so we're going to jump in here now and pull some clarifiers as to what this energy is specifically pertaining to your sign. So we have Deep Knowing, and that was way too many cards that came out. Let's see, what does the awareness Taurus is going to be coming into this week around this awareness of whatever is imbalanced within? What does Taurus need to know about this deep knowing? Now I did see the Three of Cups come out just in that giant stack that came out. So for some of you, there may be a balance of or a realization of maybe where you've been holding yourself back from being in more group settings, kind of finding that soul tribe, having that feeling of support around you. Okay, so we have the King of Swords, we have the Nine of Swords, and we have the Nine of Wands. So I get the feeling that there's been, between the Nine of Swords and the Nine of Wands, this is where you're starting to see the imbalance, especially with the King of Swords coming in. The King of Swords is someone who kind of comes in and cuts through the BS, so to speak. He's someone who kind of knows what he knows. He sees things very clearly, very fairly, and then he can make judgments based from that very clear-headed place. And I think for some of you, there's this realization of just how much you have been in a state of maybe anxiety with the Nine of Swords. This is being worried. This is overthinking, being kept up awake at night by just the thoughts. This can even be trying to think your way around or out of a change that needs to happen. And so you're trying to think of every contingency plan, every what if that might happen. And the Nine of Wands is where you feel just physically exhausted. This is where you've been taking a lot of action and you feel like with every step of the way at this point, you feel like all you're doing is getting beaten up. You can see he kind of looks like he has a bandage around his head and he's just like, oh, it's the card of the weary wounded warrior. So there's a feeling here that there's an exhaustion on an emotional or on a spiritual level. When we look at the kind of on the passionate side to your experience, that you're exhausted in how you're choosing to take action. And you're also plagued with kind of this level of anxiety, this overthinking. And I think there's going to be a clarity here that comes through this week of just the reality of, I think, how when we get to that place where we're just overthinking, can't see, it's like one of those things where you're just like, oh my God, I can't in my work, I can't in my home life, I can't just do all of this. It's an interesting thing because I feel like for many of you Taurus, now I'm a Taurus sun sign and Mars placement, so I'm probably going through this as well. But there's a feeling here where when we're at the nines, which with the Nine of Swords and the Nine of Wands, we are like one step away from closing out a major cycle, where the Ten of Swords is like, oh my God, hitting rock bottom, like I'm just going to let myself go there. And the Ten of Wands is putting down the burden you felt you've had to carry alone your whole time. So there's something here around like seeing where I think this cycle needs to wrap up for you, where it's like, maybe you don't need to be overthinking. Maybe you were going through a cycle where, yes, there was a lot of stress. There was a lot of mental anguish or anxiety, and there may have felt like, man, it was a long slog to get here. I had to go through a lot. I took a lot of hard knocks. But now it's saying the truth of the matter is, and I think for many of you, there's this deep knowing of it's done. It's over. It's time to wrap up these cycles. It's time to take a look at where you hit rock bottom along the way. It's time to look at, again, all those knocks that you took, but you kept standing. And now I get the feeling, especially with connection, with the Two of Cups coming in, you're not alone anymore in this. There's a burden here that you can finally put down, put to rest. And I think there's going to be this awareness of, I've made it. I've made it. But it's still hard to tell your brain to stop worrying. It's still hard to tell yourself to not feel that physical exhaustion. And let's see here. Okay, yes. So we have the Hermit and the Hanged Man. I'm coming up to clarify the Two of Cups. So the Two of Cups is looking at your intimate partnerships. And I think here for many of you, the realization is there's been a soul seeking. It's almost like communicating to your most intimate partnerships in your life, the people that you deeply connect with, just how much you've been going through like a soul searching energy. The Hermit speaks to going within and having to kind of feel alone and isolated from the world to find that light within again. And the Hanged Man is the card of gaining a new perspective. It's something, it can actually speak to there being a big long pause on something, like we can't move forward until we finally see the gift that the divine is trying to get us to see. And there might be something here around that to really just honor that perspective of, oh my gosh, I've rediscovered my magic, and then learning how to now integrate that into your communication with others. Like this might have been a very long process, Taurus, to get to this point to where all of a sudden you realize this is the light I'm meant to shine. And now I see why I had to go through this very difficult cycle, and I can release it. I can let it go. I can let go of both of these cycles, of the pain of having to kind of do it all myself and carry everything on my back, and kind of with every step of action I took, I got knocked back a little bit. And then with the overthinking and the worrying and the sleepless nights, it's saying you're done with that. And the beauty of it is you're seeing all of that now from a new perspective, and you're realizing it was all to connect you to your own inner light, your own inner magic, so that now you can connect that authentically and openly with others. So there's something about being grateful for that process. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles at the bottom. Beautiful. This is the individual who holds space, who patiently nurtures what she wants in her life, who nurtures the new opportunity. She holds the Ace of Pentacles, and she is ready to dedicate her time and energy into nurturing it into eventually the Ten of Pentacles, which is our lasting legacy. For some of you, you may be seeing being a parent from a new light, from a much more nurturing light. You may also just be realizing that, wow, you have this Ace of Pentacles, and you see now how this whole process of unlocking your own magic, now what you can bring to this new opportunity and how you can start to grow that. Very, very beautiful, Taurus. I feel your pain. And yes, I have gone through this very hard cycle as well. I feel it. But yes, I can say that for myself personally, it definitely was connecting. It was something that illuminated. Obviously, this is also why I have my channel with this title. It did illuminate so much about myself that I would never have otherwise seen or experienced. Whoa, okay, that's way too many cards. We'll see if we can get just a few less. So I'm going to pull a final card here for the theme of the relationship or relationships in your life. Let's see what Taurus needs to know. What does Taurus need to know around the energy of intimate relationships and love? Okay, so we have, I love this. I think Pisces got this as well. So it says, love yourself first. It says your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. And this might have actually been the path you've been on, Taurus, is to find the magic within and to love it, to realize that that's why others love you, and you need to honor that within yourself as well. You know, we can go through really hard times when we don't find ourselves lovable. We can put ourselves in circumstances with people who basically mirror back to us that, you know, the lack of love we have for ourselves. We can be in work dynamics where we're asking someone to love us when, again, we don't love ourselves. We don't see the value in our own work ethic. We don't see the value in what we bring to the table. And so why would someone else? And this is a beautiful reminder that when we go through these hard lessons or these hard cycles in our life, it's meant to connect. It's meant to break us out of our little original mold so that we see more of ourselves, we experience more of ourselves. And the hope is that then we do this. We go within and we find our magic. And that allows us then to really get into this energy of, wow, I see my own capabilities. I see why I'm here. I see what I'm here to bring. And I do love myself. I love my ability to go through everything and still find the magic within instead of seeing the world as a dark and awful place. So I hope you all appreciate that within yourself. I hope you all give yourself a chance to really lean into nurturing this new Ace of Pentacles, this fresh start, and you give yourself a pat on the back for going through that very difficult cycle and realize it was all to get you to a place to love yourself first so that now you can really enjoy the fruits of having gone through that, which is going to be new start, probably in love, new connections in the physical with the Queen of Pentacles. It's going to be all kinds of new opportunities coming in that's going to now allow you to start to work with this magic that you found within yourself, this love and appreciation for who you are. All right, I will leave it there, Taurus. I hope you all have a wonderful week ahead. If you'd like to book a personal reading, you can click on the link in the description box below to visit my website. Otherwise, I'll be releasing July's full Taroscope readings for the week at the end of the week for each sign. So if you'd like to watch those, you can keep your eye out for when they pop up on my channel. Otherwise, I will see you all in next week's weekly Tarot Bite reading. Bye, Taurus.